Number 89 for the LA Rams, Tyler Higbee, exited tonight's game with a right knee injury. Welcome back everyone, my name is Dr. Stefan Wilson, and this channel was created to help with the understanding of sports injuries. Tyler Higbee, the Rams tight end, took a pretty significant blow to the outside of his right knee tonight, so let's take a look at the replay here. Here we see Higbee reaching to catch the ball when he is engaged by a Lions defender. The way the defender makes contact here places a lot of impact and stress onto Higbee's right knee. When we break down the events here, we can start with Higbee planting his right foot on the turf almost simultaneously when the defender arrives to make the contact. When the contact does arrive, it is his left shoulder that drives into the outside of Higbee's right knee, forcing his knee inwards. This inward stress is called a valgus stress, and it is something your knee joint obviously does not like. It reminds me somewhat of what happened to Nick Chubb earlier in the season. Your right knee is a hinge joint, so it is built to move back and forth in one direction. Your knee does not like side-to-side movement. It also does not like any twisting movement. As we can see in the replay here, there is a fair amount of side movement here as Higbee's right knee is forced inwards with that valgus stress that I mentioned. There are certain tough bands of tissue that hold your knee joint together, and the ones that we'd be most concerned with would be his MCL, his ACL, and possibly PCL. There also exists the possibility here of a significant bone bruise or even a fracture to his knee. The fact that Higbee's right foot is planted in the turf and doesn't really slide when the contact is made, this will only amplify the stress going through Higbee's right knee, as we can see here. He was able to walk off the field though, which is a very good sign. I do want to mention that, of course, Higbee lands on his head during the play, and in addition to his knee, his neck also could have been injured on the play. His head and neck do get forced backwards here a bit into extension, compounded with the dynamic force of his body weight coming down on top because, he is upside down at the time. But for the general purposes of this video, I do want to concentrate more on his right knee. We'll take a look at the anatomy screen here. Here's a picture of a right leg. To orient ourselves, we'll look above the knee joint here. We'll see the thigh bone, the femur, and we'll look below the knee, where we'll see the shin bone here, which is the tibia. In between those bones is your actual knee joint. Like I mentioned before, a bone bruise or a fracture is possible, and certainly an injury to his ligamentous tissue. Remember, the tackle came from this side of his knee and forced his knee inwards in this direction here. Therefore, the majority of the stress is going to occur on the inside portion of his knee. Anytime your knee takes any kind of lateral force like this, this will compromise your medial collateral ligament, which is located right here. Possibly your anterior cruciate ligament, which is located more deep inside your knee, and possibly right beside it your posterior cruciate ligament as well. The smooth cartilage of your knee joint, called your meniscus, is also at risk of being damaged here. So without question, at a minimum, Higbee will have suffered a sprained knee in tonight's game. It's just a matter of how many different tissues were affected and exactly how significantly they were affected. Higbee will undergo some diagnostic imaging here in the near future, and that will really help to determine the exact extent of his injury. Do you think it was a dirty hit? Let me know in the comments section below. Take care.